There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune in to Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
But your use of that profanity,
it's the emphasis.
You have different emphasis, and it's fascinating.
I have really improved in the last 10 years as a swearer, I would say. I used to just kind of roll up, but now I realize it and I let it have it.
You give it a little work.
And I've gotten worse.
Why don't we start the show so we can be doing this?
Oh, you mean like right now?
Yeah.
I'm getting better.
Now that part I'm leaving in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that part I'm leaving in.
I was telling the boys that Mahomes looked pretty spry yesterday.
Yeah, he ran like crazy to get down to the other end of the field to celebrate the field goal. Yeah. I did not get to watch much. I was at Jim Wells' celebration, tribute, memorial, whatever you want to call it, out at Canterbury. And once in a while I'd peek around a corner to see what was going on at a television. And I saw the Chiefs jumping up in the air very happily, and I knew this wasn't good, that something had happened. They must have a fine field goal kicker, huh?
Yeah.
Wind howling like crazy, and he kicks a 54-yarder, and then they can mess around at the end and set him up for 43 or 4, was it? Reavers?
44.
Then without even thinking about it. Was it 54, the first one?
It was
right?
long. I think it was the game winner. It looked like it had been tipped, too. I think it was Hunter that got it.
Got a little finger on it. So
I already missed baseball.
It isn't that long before we start again. Spring training, I think, is the 12th this year because the season's even earlier. But fortunately, the Twins go on the West Coast for the first week. So, you know when spring training ends this year, Joe? March 23rd.
Really?
Last exhibition game.
Wow.
Because they don't, Fox has the World Series, and they do not want to interfere with the 2020 presidential election, which will have very fine TV ratings.
Right.
The way things are going right now. I think it would be very fine.
The Vikings are at Dallas Sunday, huh?
Now they get a break. Dallas is playing the Monday night game, so they, remember when the Mondays started, Joe, and it used to, the big thing was everybody'd get the Mondays. They couldn't, if you played on Monday, you'd lose the following Sunday. That isn't quite as bad. Now everybody talks about the Thursday games being the tough ones.
I think Thursday's ridiculous if you played Sunday.
Yeah, but the Vikings had that advantage going into yesterday's game. They hadn't played for 10 days. Mm-hmm. Kansas City had 7 starters not in the lineup. Virtually their whole offensive line, half their offensive line, half their defense, and no Mahomes. And somehow the Vikings managed to lose that game, but I can't make a lot of observations. I do know, I bet it's rare when you give up a 91-yard rushing touchdown that you win, though, wouldn't you, fellas? Mm-hmm. So what happened on that play?
Especially when you're on the road.
What happened? They just handed off and he just took off up the middle? Or
Kendricks missed a tackle on that one, and I believe Harrison Smith also missed a tackle on that one.
Where was the safety man?
I don't know.
91-yard run. Where was the safety man?
Who said that again?
Frank Broyles used to he was still the Arkansas athletic director, but he went out and he was the analyst on college football games for 25 years, and he'd always be very worried about the presence of the safety man.
It ended up being so nice yesterday that I didn't see much of the game till the end. It was sunny and it was warm.
Sure.
I was disappointed this morning because we had Snizzle, but it only lasted for 4 minutes.
What do you want, a snowfall?
I'm a big fan of Snizzle because I like to hear it. Because who invented that? Dave Dahl or Paul Douglas? One of them invented the word Snizzle.
Or snert.
Part snow, part drizzle. Snizzle. Yeah. And I haven't seen any Snizzle in a while. But
when it hits a car, it'll pelt that you can hear. There's a sound.
But I don't think it's putting dents in it. I don't think it's hail.
No, it's not putting it. Snizzle's very small.
Snizzle's small. Yeah. That's what differentiates it. But the wife was very happy when I bolted upstairs this morning and said, "Quick, look out the window. Snizzle. We're having Snizzle." She's not as excited about Snizzle as I am.
I'm not a fan of this daylight savings switch.
You think we should just go all year?
Yes.
I do, too.
I don't like it.
We just say, hey, God, tough bananas. Yep. We're going to daily. We're never going to have God's time. We're going the other way.
But getting the free hour is kind of nice.
Well, that's what the states.
Throws you off.
Some of those states, throws
you off your game.
Some of those states with a strong Christian background did not like the daylight savings time because we should stay on God's time, even though, we do change times all the way around the world.
That's right.
I'm getting my weekday papers by no later than 8 in the morning, which is okay.
You're kidding me.
I prefer them earlier.
Mine, I get the strip at 5 in the morning.
But Sundays, half the Sundays I end up going to buy them because they're not there by 9. And yesterday
you got to get them there at 7.
Well, yesterday they weren't there by 9, and I thought, I'll bet you he got fouled up by the clock change.
Right.
So I got the car out of the garage and backed up, and I see him down the block. And he's headed my way, and I thought, well, hell, I'll just wait for him here.
Right. There we go. Lean up against the car.
He said, well, thank you for your patience, sir. And here's a free Sunday New York Times.
Really? Good for him.
But the only thing I took from the New York Times yesterday was that the movie called The Irishman.
Yes, starts this week.
And but it's on Netflix November 23rd.
Really?
Yeah.
So I don't have to.
Why in the hell would you go and waste your money? I don't understand how this works.
You can get in the movies cheap, but if you want to have some popcorn and a soda, that's going to get you. That's when they get you.
But Ford versus Ferrari, I want to see. But I'm going to have to see that on a big screen.
What is the story there? When did Ford go over there and race them?
Ford, Henry Ford, the second, was that
in Bill's daddy? Was that Bill's daddy? Bill Ford's daddy or brother? Bill Ford. It had to be his daddy.
Probably.
Yeah.
But Ford in the 60s was in negotiations to buy Ferrari.
Okay.
And when it came right down to the table, the final day of it apparently, Enzo Ferrari discovered that he wouldn't be in charge of the racing division.
Okay.
And so he got up and stormed out and canceled the deal. And that so upset Henry that he said, build me a car that can beat Ferrari.
And did they go to the Formula One then? Or was it just a one-off race?
I don't know. I have to do more homework. But it resulted in... Shelby, the Shelby GT cars. And I just can't wait to see it.
I think they did run Formula One then for a year or two. Shelby. Was that your, being a car guy? Did you always want to get yourself a Shelby?
I wouldn't have turned one down, but I never could have afforded one at the time. And now they're cost prohibitive if you can find one.
Yeah.
They're highly valued collector cars.
Yeah, I'll go to that one too.
Yeah.
I wanted to go see the current war, the one about Westinghouse and Edison.
Don't know that one.
Feuding with each other. It's out there now. Edison and Westinghouse were trying to bring electricity to America, and Westinghouse was apparently trying to claim that he was the real guy, but it's floating around out there. I think that might be pretty good.
So, Pat, Joe had mentioned yesterday it was such a nice day out. He couldn't watch much of the Vikings game. Why don't you ask the mayor, kind of where his day took him yesterday afternoon?
It was a gorgeous day. Wasn't that gorgeous, by the way? Wasn't it about 40?
Yeah, it got up to about 48.
The sun made it feel warmer.
Yes. No. So what did you do?
So I like to look for golf balls.
Okay. All right.
And my one-day record is
77. Did you walk to a nearby golf course, or did you go somewhere else?
Oh, there's one close by here.
Okay.
And when I got there, all the gates were padlocked shut, and said closed. And
this public track that's near you?
It's not.
No. Okay. Okay.
And then I went down to another gate, and there was a sawhorse behind the gate that said, "Course closed to walkers."
Oh,
and I thought,
well, what kind of a country is this?
Right. I thought, well, you know what? I don't think anyone will mind. So an
attractive nuisance.
I fished the sawhorse close enough. I hooked it with my foot so I could bring behind the gate, so I could bring the sawhorse.
You just kind of slide through there.
No. So I could pick it up. I could reach over and pick up the sawhorse. Then I walked down the street with the sawhorse to a different gate where I knew I could stand on the sawhorse, and then I got get on top of this thing and then jump down into the course.
What is wrong with you? That's the time you went to the cemetery and damn near killed yourself.
So I got in, and then I thought, well, I better bring the sawhorse in after me.
Because otherwise,
how am I going to get out?
Right. Yes. Right.
And so I got the sawhorse.
Winter.
Yeah. I got the sawhorse back in there, and then I proceeded for an hour and a half to going up and down hills.
How many did you find?
Squeeze. Bad day. 24.
24.
My record.
How
was
many
77.
usable? How many were
all 24?
Really
nice.
None of them
ones.
split. Huh?
But I need another big wind to get rid of the leaves on some of my honey holes.
Yeah. Right.
And I went down a few times, got a little wet, and then it came time to get out of there. And that sawhorse was wobbly, and I'm hanging on.
How high is the fence? What are we talking?
He won't let go of the golf balls either, because that's his money.
No. 5 feet. Okay. But this morning I got up, and my arms hurt so much.
But you never got caught.
No, I didn't get caught.
No security at this golf course. And next time you got to get one of these.
Yeah. And now, boy, I had to pop some Advil today because the wings were barking, because I put myself through some maneuvers that I haven't done in quite a while.
All in the name of golf
flipped
balls.
Out of your head, and still
died.
be laying there bleeding.
Right.
Because what was the cemetery story? Give me that one. Which cemetery was it?
The movie Schindler's List had just come out.
Yes, right.
And behind the CP's family
home, very
old St. Paul Jewish Cemetery.
Yes, and
I thought, well, what the hell? I'm going to go in there and read
find out if some of these people.
And so we got in there.
What's the name of that cemetery? Hillcrest?
I'd have to look it up. But it's right off Maryland in St. Paul, and I think it was Easter Sunday, and the gates were open.
That's not a really big Jewish holiday. Easter Sunday.
That might be karma there. No. That might be karma there.
That's
really not.
The Judaism does not celebrate that one, so they got a different theory. But go ahead.
Well, so I walked through an open gate to get in. And did my exploring and noting names and dates and what have you. And while I was lost in there, they locked the place up. So now the only way I'm getting out is to climb the fence and jump down.
Mm-hmm. We didn't have barbed wire, thank God.
No, and I did, and that resulted in a very bad injury.
Now that must have been like 8 feet, huh?
Yeah, at least.
That one?
Yeah.
But I bet it's a fantastic cemetery.
I said it was off Maryland.
I bet it's
Maryland and Prosperity.
I bet it's a fantastic cemetery for 1880 markers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think it was a noble cause, and you lived. So what? I
get curious about things. And next thing you know, I'm going to break my neck.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I don't think they celebrate Easter too much.
Were you ever? Did you ever quote? Or were you ever referred to as a press box wag?
No.
You recall the press box wag of your early sports writing days, where the press box wag was frequently quoted in stories. Somebody in the press box would make a smart-ass remark, and as you were writing along, they would say, "Set a press box wag."
I never used it.
Without identifying. You never used it. You had to see it.
Well, I did, but I never used it.
Press box wag. Now, wags has been absconded with for wives and girlfriends.
Right.
But the press box wag, the other day I ran across a press box wag, and I went on Twitter lamenting the loss of a press box wag because 3 times, I don't know if I ever used it. I don't think I did. But Augie liked to use the press box wag. He would use the press box wag.
Said the press box wag.
Said the press box wag. It would be some smart-ass comment. And I think 2 or 3 times I was the press box wag. So now I had to look it up and see exactly what wag meant. Because, we got your wag your rear end and your wag your wives and girlfriends. Right. A person given to droll, roguish, and mischievous humor.
Really?
Wit.
Yeah, that's
so.
Wag
Being a press box wag is, I pleaded to younger sports writers, bring back the press box wag.
Well, I can give you an example of when you were the press box wag. Mm-hmm. Who was Al Quee's lieutenant governor?
Lou Wangberg.
So Lou Wangberg throws out the first pitch one day, and no one's ever heard of Lou Wangberg. He throws out the first pitch to open whatever season that might have been, 77 or 78, and Royce bellows out, "The family of Lou Wangberg can relax. He's been found."
Yeah, that was a press box wag. Yes.
Yeah. That's where that would fit. Perfect.
Yes. Oh, it would be. It would be perfect. And I think somebody, you later on, I think, quoted me on that. But I think it was a press box wag in the
that made the once there was a ballpark book.
Okay. Yeah,
I saw a great wag one time.
What was
in St. Louis.
Singer that
some girl who came out and ended up saying, "Oh, rats."
Yeah, right. A woman who stopped.
She couldn't
remember
do
it. Just Met Stadium, just forgot.
I'm trying to remember the name of the pitcher. It might have been the St. Louis-Milwaukee World Series. St. Louis pulls a pitcher, goes into the dugout. There's a big fan, and he swung his fist at the fan. And one of the wags said, "The bleep just hit the fan."
Yes. Yeah.
Said a press box wag.
Yeah, there's a press box wag. I remember the press box wag. I might have used it this time, or I might have identified him. But Game 6 of the wonderful 1986 World Series, the Billy Buckner game, the Mets, Mets, Red Sox trying to win their first World Series since 1918, and the Red Sox are going to win, looks like, in the 9th inning. And the Red Sox had great starting pitching and terrible bullpen. Mm-hmm. They had Calvin Schiraldi, and he had big numbers, but he was unreliable. But they bring out the horses because if the Mets don't score, so after the 8th inning, they bring out horses and put them in the bullpens. There's horses,
cops
like
on
3
horseback.
Mounted horses.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's also cops lined up. And Tom Hardrecord, who's quite the press box wag, leaped up and said, "Look it! There's more horse bleep in the Red Sox bullpen than usual." That was a press box.
That's a wag.
That's the service that was provided by Red Sox press box wags, and we don't get them quoted anymore.
What caused this to be brought up?
I can't even remember. Somebody was saying something about. I know. Somebody ripped me about. You're just a lousy sports reporter who needs you. And I said, I'm not only a sports reporter, I'm also a press box wag. Yes, that's right. And, of course, this is lost on everyone younger than 68. But anyway, yes, that was it. So it was we got PJ coming up this week, though, man. Oh. What is going on? You explain this to me, gents. We were offering students buy one, get one, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, $7 and they're getting in for $7. Today they just announced they've declared it Armed Forces Day, and any active military can get 4 tickets, or maybe it's even veterans can get 4 tickets. Why isn't this an automatic rapid sellout?
I'm not sure, because I was asked, someone said, "Are you going to take your kids?" And I thought, well, I don't know if we're going to make that the Gopher trip for this year. Mm-hmm. But I'm shocked that tickets are still available.
Because everybody likes the coach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And not everybody, but damn near everybody. And everybody's excited about this. Why isn't it boom? Why wasn't it a boom sellout? I don't get it.
I think are we mad that game day didn't come?
Saturday, cloudy and 33.
Ooh,
maybe that's
really?
it.
I looked this morning and said it might get to 40.
Well,
but have we
right
become
now.
that big of sissies?
I guess.
We all wanted Dave Moda led the charge back to campus. We got to go back to campus so the band can march down University Avenue and we can play outdoors. And now it's too cold. Is that it? Is it too cold?
Yeah, it's too cold.
Too cold. So
who's on the line, Rook?
Larry.
We are taking phone calls. Now, one of the problems with taking phone calls is because this hasn't been posted yet, people don't know what we're talking about.
Right, which is the beauty of it.
But then again, that's not a lot different than when Rook was running the board for Joe, and Joe would be talking about a mass murder in Argentina, where 150 people were killed.
He put somebody on to start their motor.
Hey, here's Bill. Hey, Joe, you want to hear my motorcycle?
Yeah,
you know?
Well, let's see what Larry has to say.
So we'll see if Larry's on topic or not.
Larry?
This is Larry in Colorado, and I first want to apologize to Joe and Pat for taking selfies with them a few years ago when I was at the state fair.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's all right.
This will never happen again, so hopefully you guys
maybe with Joe, not with Pat.
You were you didn't mind it, Pat, but Joe was walking around, and I was like, hey, Joe, you mind taking a selfie? And he's like, sure, then walked away. So I apologize especially to Joe.
Joe, I believe this year you made 2 State Fair appearances, didn't you? Yes.
Yeah. We took a lot of pictures. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. Well, it will never happen again. And thanks for sending Garage Logic out here to Colorado, guys.
Wonderful.
What? You have any other observations? Or are you just thanking us for Joe being Joe?
Just for your humor, and you guys are awesome. And I look forward to Mondays on my drive home to listen to the podcast because it's the best. And keep on keeping on, and maybe someday I'll take a selfie with you guys again.
And all right, Larry. Today's version will be, well, not that it does any good, but it'll be posted at 6 p.m. Monday night, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's correct.
All right, sir.
Thanks, Larry.
Bye, guys.
Larry from Colorado, Pat.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
So,
did you tweet out the number today?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
I did.
Right.
I did.
Are you having trouble over there, boys?
Nope.
Okay.
No, we're just we're looking up some audio.
All right.
So there were a lot of people I knew at a younger point of life at Jim Wells's celebration memorial yesterday. Nice turnout. Had to be 200, 250 people there at Canterbury.
Yep.
And his buddy, Tom Regal, who Jim lived in an apartment building next to him in West St. Paul. They've been friends since then. They got sober at the same time.
Maria.
Go ahead, just keep going.
1979, they got sober at the same time. And they've remained friends for 50 years. Man, he gave a great eulogy.
Good.
It was like 30, 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Wellesley was I did stuff about him. I didn't know. He was a Shakespeare guy.
It's a country dancer.
Yeah, he was a great country dancer, but he also was well-read. He said he used to... Yeats.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell the name of the poet is.
Yeah.
He said he used to call him up and make him listen to a whole poem while he read it to him and stuff. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Still
well, you know what? He was a Renaissance man.
Yes, he was. Still a flip phone guy, though, too. Flip phone guy. So not highly into technology. But the thing about Wellesley...
Well, neither are we.
The thing about technology, the thing about Wellesley was boxing and horse racing fit him perfectly because he loved goofy people. Mm-hmm. You know, goofy, SOBs that were populated sports. And, of course, we all have that appreciation for them, but he liked to write about them probably more than any of us. So, anyway, it was it was fun. Man. It was good.
We're going to go to the phones with Maria, who's got a question. Maria?
Hello.
You're on the air.
No, I just wondering. I just asked a question when that was Patrick used to be on from 12 to 5 or 6 every night, every day.
Yep. Yeah,
it seemed like that some days, didn't it?
Yeah.
It seemed like it. Is that his name, Patrick?
Yes,
it is.
Okay, thank you.
All
Okay. All right. That's it? You don't have an observation?
I think he threw you a little.
That's some good call screening there, Larry.
That's the best stuff.
That's the best stuff.
That's some top drawer call screening there, Larry.
What are they, uniformians or something that like exercise?
Once in a while.
Question for Joe, it said. So I'm thinking, okay, this is somebody named Maria who's got a question about traveling in Florida, and here I am. I'm going to help you. I know Randy Wainwright personally. What can I do for you? And all I get is,
Well, I think it's a good idea myself.
So the Florida State job opened up. And everybody's worried about PJ. Hey, relax. Florida State just had to pay $17 million to the guy they fired, Willie Taggart. The Florida State's TV money's in the high 20s. The Gophers is about 40. And the Big Ten's a better conference than the ACC. He's not going to Florida State. Florida State lost their coach, Jimbo Fisher, because they got the antiquated old rotten facilities. They haven't spent money on facilities. So
okay, if he beats Penn State and goes 9-0, let's say they end up in the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
What the level of institution that could lure him away is getting higher and higher and higher. But why wouldn't he just stay here?
I think he probably Southern Cal, but they aren't famous for paying. If they fire their guy, they aren't famous for paying huge amounts of it. They're going to put him over $5 million. He'll be making over $5 million at the end of this year. Yeah, they're going to raise him over $5 million. He'll get $1 million a year raise, something like that. So he's making what, $4?
I think it's 3.5. Yeah.
No, it was high threes. Yeah, they'll pay him. They'll pay him more here than other places. Now, Southern Cal, you can go out there and make money on the side and become a bigger celebrity than you're ever going to be here, right? Mm-hmm. As far as national scene, but. They're not, as I said, they aren't famous for paying big amounts of money. And if Notre Dame fires Kelly after a couple, he's got at least another year left there. So I don't think there's the other one. The one he might go to is Michigan. Mm-hmm. He's he coached in there, and Michigan's a better job than this. So if Harbaugh leaves,
the Green Bay Chargers game, at least the TV people had the presence of mind to. Turn the cameras out to the horizon where you could see the smoke ring haze, and they talked about it. But what an immense state when you realize that, these games just went on as normal and it was a beautiful day.
Yeah, the sports teams have all been playing. Yeah. Meanwhile, LeBron James, did LeBron's home burn? Or
I don't think so.
But he had to evacuate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unreal.
What's the second game of Towns' suspension? Has that been held yet?
Tonight, Milwaukee.
Yeah, they play the Bucks.
The Milwaukee Bucks tonight.
They would need him to beat Milwaukee.
Well, allegedly, but sometimes those teams that come to another town are bored. So if they are. But my guy Georgie Jing got out of jail and won a game for him the other night. So what's your? Hey, I got to give you an update on Luke Dillon's hockey attendance.
All right.
He was there Saturday, my grandson, 9 years old. I believe
he's not seen a victory yet.
This was his 10th game, counting a couple of exhibitions. This was his 10th game, but and he's never seen a win.
Right.
But 3 goals topped his previous total by 1.
Really?
He'd seen 2 goals, one in an exhibition game earlier this year, and then 1 in previous years. So. He was very happy because he saw he got to hear the horn go off for a wild goal. So.
I like Boudreau, but it's a fait accompli that he's going to be gone.
I'm very worried about his blood pressure.
Mm-hmm. A little red.
He's gets a
Although
little
the
red
memes
now.
on Twitter of him using that vocabulary we were talking about before the show was tremendous. Because he was, throwing that word around like nothing. It was fantastic.
He was mad at the refs?
Well, when they took the goal off the board for Parisi, I think it was goalie interference, because Parisi scored. That's I think what set him off.
Yeah, well, that'll do it. In that sport, when goals are disallowed, it's important.
Yeah.
It's not like saying... that basket don't count. You were in the,
you were in the cylinder.
You were in the cylinder or some damn. Hockey isn't like that,
Because they're too hard to come by.
That's what I'm...
They had 3 of their own goals against Dallas, didn't they? Didn't 3 go in on somebody's
true?
butt?
I mean, I read that
didn't watch
and I
the
saw
game.
it, but they said 3 of them came off body parts of their own players.
Yep.
That's got to be a world record, doesn't it?
I
3?
think so.
But what's the reason? Legitimately, it's not the coaching. We don't have the talent. Why do you want to try out a new coach? Just because he's lost the room?
You got to sell something to the ticket holders.
And Brucey is not... They won't renew him after this year. I don't think he has a contract. He's got a 2-year...
This is his walk year.
And he got a 2-year consultant deal that's guaranteed. But they're not going to bring him back. So he's going to hire his own man.
But the fan base likes him, don't you think?
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah, they're fine. Now, they announced a sellout, though, Joe,
I saw that.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So I guess the Saturday... Saturday night still works.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, that's the way it used to be at Met Center. Unless you had a real star attraction in during the week, the attendance was, 10,000, and then on weekends they'd always be sold out. So hockey fans still a weekend crowd.
But when they're not in contention, it shows you the meaninglessness of these long regular seasons. Because what's the old saying? If you don't have enough points by Thanksgiving to stay in the playoff hunt, you're pretty well cooked.
Because it's tough to make a
round. And it can happen. St. Louis did it last year, but St. Louis has a commie who can, Tarasenko.
Now he's hurt.
He's hurt.
Now he's out. Yeah.
But he could play. He could score. And the Wild don't have any scores.
No, and it was that's I think what set Boudreau off so much because he knows he's a dead duck.
Okay, I got a big test for you. Ordering, you and I both have a great admiration for sports writing of the Red Smith variety. I was looking up his absent friends obits and in lieu of Jim Wells' death, and I was looking for a horse racing guy.
Right.
Joe Palmer was a legendary horse racing writer who ended up working at the Herald Tribune from 44 to 52 when he died at 48 of a heart attack, which you get the impression might have come from what they used to call consumption. But, but Joe died at 48. But apparently this guy was fabulous. I mean, everybody
I've
loved
heard his
him.
name.
Everybody loved him. And he would not necessarily. He made a lot of literary references because he used to be an English teacher at Kentucky and University of Kentucky and Michigan. But the guy was, just a. You'd read his stories, and according to Red Smith's obit, he would. Be writing a horse racing, but somehow he'd get in a recipe for jellied whiskey or an Australian hobby of kangaroo chasing.
Yeah.
Or one year he listened to the band at played My Old Kentucky Home. And it was a tortured version in his opinion, and he said, I could have played it better on a comb. So he was a fantastic writer, but I got to track down that book. This Was Racing. It was published, 60 years ago, so I don't know how we can possibly find it. But
are we going to Zimmer's Blues Lounge today?
That's what I'm looking for right now.
Well, he'll be down today in the lounge.
I gotta tell you though. I gotta find this. This guy is now my idol. You know
Joe
why?
Palmer?
Joe Palmer is now my idol. I gotta tell you.
All right.
Why?
Okay.
Because
stuff there.
Yeah, I gotta look through here. I gotta find my note here.
Yeah.
I gotta. Because, no, it's not my notes. It's not my ads.
Well, you know what, Pat? Why don't
we listen to Palmer?
Well, I was just going to say, Rook can do Jack's Cafe while you look that up.
I can chit-chat about that while Patrick is looking for his item. I'm going to tell you right now that Jack's Cafe, who was our host for the Monday Night Sports Talk podcast last week, was very thrilled. The Billy Kozlak and the staff did a fine job, and you're going to get some great treatment when you stop by Jack's Cafe. Not only are you going to be treated to a wonderful meal, it's just a great ambiance. 3 generations, Northeast Minneapolis restaurant. It's on 1928 University Avenue Northeast, right at 19th Avenue. It's just that simple to get to. Even Suchi and I can get there if you're looking for a nice date night. Maybe it's anniversary, whatever the case may be, birthday, or just it's Saturday night. Ask for the GL Rookie Date Night VIP menu. We'll include Monday Night Sports Talk with that as well. It's less than $100. It is a 4-course meal, includes a free bottle of wine. Also, if you're going to book that Christmas party, that family get-together, that office party, if it's 25 to 300, they have rooms that they can accommodate. They proved that last week when they had all of our listeners gathered there. There's full bar, full catering. You won't be let down. I can guarantee you. Billy and his staff do a great job. 612-789-7297 for reservations, or better yet, find the locations and everything you need. You have to ask about that GL Rookie Date Night VIP menu. Jack's Cafe, JAXCAFE.com.
Did you find what you're looking for?
Yes, I did. I've decided Joe Palmer was my hero, although I discovered this late. Because, you know, and you have a little of this problem too, but I'm not known for rushing into the subtopic of what we're writing about. You know,
you have that problem a lot worse than I do.
Sometimes we drift.
Yeah.
Well, they said of Palmer mostly circled his ostensible subject, rarely landing on it.
Really?
So I said, this is my guy, this is my guy.
He'd bury a few leads, would he?
Yes, he would. Another one more line. He said, he was talking about Pimlico in Baltimore, and he said, Pimlico was lovely and satisfying as usual, or perhaps it is just that a man full of Maryland fried chicken can think only soft thoughts.
Okay. Why is that a bad thing, by the way?
What?
When you're saying finally getting to it. I like the setup. Or is that taboo?
I just don't work that way. Pat does.
I think in modern, it's less acceptable now because people want to find out.
I want it right now.
I think Kirk Cousins sucks. That's what they want to read that. That's what they want, right? They want instant things. So I don't think it works as well as it once did, and certainly not as when there was no other way for people to get news with the newspapers.
You covered St. Thomas beating the Oldies.
Yes, only 56-7.
Was beating St. John's.
Yes.
Now, does that create an opening for St. Thomas to maybe get in the playoffs?
St. John's, I think, has a softy left, and they're already 7-1, and they already beat St. Tom. Or they're already 6-1. They already beat St. Thomas. So I think I lost my. Oh, what did I do?
Pull yourself out.
They already beat St. Thomas and Bethel, so they would. I got to look it up, but it would take a monumental upset. Otherwise,
somebody has to beat St. John's.
St. John's, and that won't happen again. They got 2 left, but one of them's non-conference. So, But now people are saying you were at the wrong game. Well, if somebody had called me up and told me to get to St. John's because Concordia, which is having a mediocre year, was going to beat them, I would have been there. But they asked me to go to. The editors asked me to go to see the alleged revenge match where St. Thomas would try to score 100 against St. Olaf.
I wanted them desperately to.
St. Thomas is not as good as they were 2 years ago when they nudged them 97-0.
Which brought this whole thing started.
And, yes,
nudged them.
And St. Olaf's a little better. They actually send some guys over to try to tackle you. But there's a couple of amazing stats for that. Everybody afterwards is saying, boy, St. Olaf's a lot better. Well, yes, they're better than 97-0, but the yards were still 678 to 139.
Oh, holy mackerel.
And when St. Olaf scored, Joe, this is unheard of. When St. Olaf scored on the last play of the third quarter, it ended a streak of 221 consecutive points for St. Thomas against St. Olaf.
Holy mackerel.
221. They scored in 2016. St. Olaf scored to cut the lead to 52-7.
There we go. Come back.
And then St. Thomas scored 3 more touchdowns. 21, 97, 60 and 43 before they scored again.
It was the 97 game that caused the president of St. Olaf to go nuts.
Well, and Glenn, Caruso, I think if he had it to do over again, and it was 90-0, and they were on the 5-yard line with 25 seconds to go, he wouldn't have handed the ball off to a lineman and had him run in for a touchdown to make it 97. Okay. That was a bad look. Yeah. That was a bad look.
And then to go for 2. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, he didn't go for 2. But that was the one that set off the St. Olaf president and created a lot of momentum. I mean, I used a 2-year-old quote I had from Steve Fritz because he isn't there anymore. But I saw him a couple of months later, and I was laughing about it with him, and because I assumed it was just your normal anger at Caruso, and he said, "Oh no," he said, "This is bad. This is bad." He said, "This is bad." Yeah. He says St. Olaf is way beyond upset, and it's a huge topic at the league meeting. So.
Ruck, what are you trying to tell me? You can just say it out loud.
I have Zim from yesterday. They have not sent out today's.
We missed him yesterday. Let's have Zim.
Sure.
Today. Although after a loss, he might not be as mellow.
No. Well, we'll have to find out. Here we go. All right. Let's start the cue the jazz music, please.
We're going to the lounge.
Game of big plays. They made more than we did. And I thought we fought like crazy. We just didn't play well enough to win. Give credit to them; they played well in a lot of areas, but we didn't play well enough to win. Yeah, well, we misfitted a little bit. We had a pressure coming off the outside. We got a little wide and we missed 2 tackles.
Zim explaining a 91-yard run.
They made some good throws, made some good plays.
Boy, this is
nice like Bill Belichick.
This is important stuff.
Turn him up a little.
Toughest sport to write about.
Turn him up a little.
I don't know. We didn't have a lot of penalties today, but they called one on a screen where said the line was too far down the field. They'll have to look at it on tape, see, but I don't know.
I think you weren't able to get the running game going maybe as well as you might have hoped.
Well, they did a nice job in playing the run. They did a good job in mixing up the fronts.
Okay, Zim.
The jazz music kind of brings it up.
I think Zim took a sedative before he came in after this loss.
So we were probably throwing it a little bit too much, and we had to get back under control and get a little bit more balanced.
Was Adam Thielen, did he re-injure his hamstring, or did he just get out there and it wasn't good enough to go? What kind of happened there?
You'll have to ask him.
You could use this to go to sleep.
Yes.
Some of those were just good catches down the field.
Well, the one on the far sideline at the end of the game, I thought we should have made the play. We were there. The one early was a double move that we didn't play very good. And then, the tight end, when Kelsey caught the ball on the inside breaking route late, we were in good position. We just didn't make the play.
He seems a little more down than he does on those Mondays after a win.
I think there's some plays he'd rather get back. I don't think we helped him a lot today.
I can't take any more of this.
No?
That's good.
You want to kill the music or
everything?
I'm extremely suspicious because of the popularity of the Garage Logic podcast being spun over into the Monday Night Sports Talk podcast, that they have done some research and found out when we are taping this thing and are now posting it later on Mondays.
Really?
After games. I am suspicious because their affiliate is, even though with its monstrous success, is
proprietary.
They're proprietary about everything. Proprietary
ophthalmologist.
About everything. Ophthalmologist.
Is it the number of amateur ophthalmologists?
When in doubt, play that.
That's right.
Those are your two go-tos. That and Joe's Play play-by-play are your two.
And the stock tips.
The stock tips.
What was the one you gave out today? What was the stock tip? It was referenced on earlier today.
About gold.
So you can buy a $500 bill on eBay for $900.
That's right.
Doesn't seem like a good investment.
No, why would that? Why would that be?
Kenny was ruminating last week about the absence of $500 bills. Well, the government doesn't make them anymore. And an email,
so you can buy one.
You can buy a $500 bill
they want
for
$900. Well, yeah. 505, I might go for it.
Yeah.
But
I remember.
plus, where are you going to get it? If you go get gas like you do,
yeah. I'm a cash guy.
You can't come in and give them a $500 and expect them to give you change. No. Think how long they're going to look at that SOB.
Yeah.
No kidding. You give them some of these places, you give them 20 and they look at it like it might be counterfeit.
I always tell them I just made this one.
And then they get out the fancy pen.
They got the funny pen and the microscope and the whole deal.
Yeah, what are they trying to... but I get the kick, the 17-year-old at the Super America, which is now what, Speedway?
Yeah.
They look it up in the light. They have no idea what they're looking for.
Can't see that.
Okay.
It's okay. You're very stealth when you do that.
What's the name?
No, he's got a time here for you, fellas.
Okay.
That's what
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine. I haven't done my Josh
No, you
ad.
need to do it again.
Anybody remind me what the phone number is?
Josh
You
Arnold.
went international last week.
Huh?
You went international last week. You gave out a different area code. We didn't even know where the hell we were.
952.
925.
925.
5608.
925-5608.
That's how good these ads are. I remember the phone number all the years I've worked with Pat.
They used to leave the ad copy in my mailbox, but I don't have one anymore, so I don't know where they do it. So you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Josh Arnold, investment counselor for years and years and decades.
I think since 1978.
He's an experienced gentleman, and he never gives you the old sweet talk, hard sell.
No.
He gives you the straight stuff.
Right.
Straight shooter, as we used to call him in Fulda, Minnesota. Josh Arnold. Go over there and see him. First you call 925.
Nope. 952.
952.
Nope. That's your address.
Mr. Money Talk's going to give you straight talk and not sugar-coated advice.
952-925-5608.
Even if you are dyslexic.
Josh is my guy. All right. I've been talking about Josh for years here. Call that number. Let's do it again.
Stocks, bonds, mutual funds.
925-5608. And these are troubled times, man.
Yes,
the stock market's going up, down,
somebody
sideways.
you can rely on.
Sideways. You need someone who say, I don't know, maybe the other one, right?
More like, bye.
Right.
Let's go.
Let's get in there. Josh will get you set up for retirement. Go see Josh Arnold.
Isn't that when you call that number, don't you get a free 48-minute financial analysis?
Yes, and Josh has never adequately explained to me how he settled on 48 minutes. But that's what you get.
Well, there's some talk. Maybe you might talk some sports. Or
Yes,
have you seen any movies? And then you get down to what are your needs.
So that won't count against you, though.
No, that won't count against you.
BS.
It's like chess.
If you come in and BS.
It's like chess. You hit the clock, and you're off the clock for 10 seconds.
You come in and BS for 10 minutes, that ain't going to count against the 48 minutes.
Right. There was a PGA championship.
Mm-hmm. We've now done. Stop doing the ad. That's all you get, Josh. Thank you.
Called the Bermuda Championship?
Yes.
More players unrecognizable in that field than I've ever seen before in my life.
It's because we had the HCBC over in Asia, where those two tournaments over there in Asia had pretty good winners. Tiger one week and Rory the next. Huh?
And what a great field in this
Well, it's one of those World Championship events.
Yeah, Shane Lowry made an appearance. Jordan Spieth.
Where was it?
Field.
Where is it?
Hong Kong, I think. No, Shanghai.
You don't want to be in Hong Kong today. You might be trying to play a golf tournament.
Tim Herron got in the field at that Bermuda.
Oh, really?
I don't know if
Tim's
he made the cut.
just sitting around waiting to be 50.
Yeah.
Let's look up Tim's birthday. He's got to be.
By the way, I was
informed.
He's got his hands into a brewery now.
Really?
Tim does?
Yeah, I was sent an email that involved him.
Is it called Lumpies?
I think so.
He'll turn 50 on February 6th.
Ooh, next year's the year.
Yep, he's 49.
Tim's in a brewery?
I think so. I'll have to find that info for you guys.
They better charge him. Don't. You know, my dear friend from the St. Cloud Times, Frankie Highland, went down to the Atlanta Journal. He was doing very well as a sports writer at the Atlanta Journal. Covered the Hawks, covered the Falcons, covered the Braves at various periods. But then he got into the bar business as he was also sports writing, and Frankie just had too many friends who he'd come by and pick the tab up with.
Oh.
It just didn't work because they could have a real good night and they still lost money.
It's going to be called Lumpy's Lager.
Lumpy's Lager.
Lumpy's Lager. Yep.
But is it going to be a brew house then, or is it just a beer?
I think it's just a beer.
Okay, all right.
He won $19.6 million over his career.
Yes, he did.
It's
That's
not
hard
bad.
to believe. Won 4. How many you win? 4?
Yep.
4.
Yep,
Bay
4.
Hill.
He used to
Bay Hill Honda.
didn't he win out in Vegas?
He
Or
won,
not in Vegas.
won Jack's tournament.
He won the Memorial?
I think he did. And maybe one in Vegas, yeah.
Not Vegas, I'm thinking of. The Palm Desert. The desert one.
Oh, did he?
Maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Okay, he first time in the Honda Classic.
Yep.
He won 3 times in his first 4 seasons at the top level. He continued to play consistently. There was a 7-year gap before he claimed his 4th PGA Tour title at the 2006 Bank of America Colonial.
Okay, Colonial. Did he not win at Jack's then, right? Am I wrong?
It looks like that's not listed here, so he must not
Honda
have.
Classic, Bay Hill,
And
the Memorial, and where? Not the Memorial, the Colonial, and where else?
Let's see. Honda, La Canta, Texas Open,
Okay.
Bay Hill Invitational, Bank of
Okay,
America
so
Colonial.
He didn't win in Palm Springs.
He did
Okay.
not win Jack's
Won a
tournament.
Colonial. That would seem to be the last place in the world where Timmy Lumpy would win. Would be Colonial, because you got the small greens and you got to hit it straight. And he hits it long, and once in a while he doesn't hit it straight. But
His best results in majors: the Masters in 05, he was 11th. PGA Championship in 97, he was 13th. U.S. Open 99, he was 6th. And then the British Open tied for 30th in 99.
I have been with Katie Dillon since 1984. We got married in 1990. And still, one of my 5 favorite nights was the night in Pebble Beach that she was hammered and given Lumpy crap for missing a cut.
That's pretty good.
And Lumpy wasn't exactly sober at the time. It was fan. Lehman's getting old. He can't win anymore, and we can't make these trips to see Lehman anymore. You got to start playing better. You can't miss. Why aren't you playing this weekend? She didn't understand why he was done playing. That was pretty damn good. Pretty dang good.
All right, boys. What do you think?
I think so.
All right,
I think so.
Hey, we gave Josh his money's worth.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Jack's Cafe.
We took a phone
By
call.
the way, Thanksgiving, Jack's, the Ricey clan's going to be there. You can't beat it if you don't want to do the dishes.
No.
And by the way, I've checked. Pheasant is available.
Ooh.
Without BBs. BB-free pheasant.
Yes. I'm really glad about that, too.
Pheasant.
Hey,
All
if
right.
you want to find out, if this is the first time you're listening to this Monday Night Sports Talk podcast, the previous 3 are listed at garagelogic.com. Just kind of poke around and you'll find it. They are available in full audio color. We'll catch you next time.
And I believe they're going to be on Score North, too, now, aren't they?
Good.
Also, I think so.
Fantastic.
I'm not sure. But we want the hits on Garage Logic.
We want the hits on Garage Logic. Tell a friend or two. All you got to do is grab their phone and download the podcast, Monday Night Sports Talk.